We have seen some countries who have come out to congratulate someone who got the INEC's mandate. By the way, the people's mandate must be given to the person the people chose. Yes. What someone has right now is the INEC's mandate.
So guys, Aisha Yusufu attended the World Press Conference held in Washington, D.C. and there she was privileged to give her own speech. Let me allow you listen to what she's got to say. Don't forget, many Nigerians are not satisfied with the outcome of the presidential election. And you know, in various parts of the world, Nigerians are airing their view. They are saying that they are not taking this election for an election. Let me allow you listen to what Aisha Yusufu got to say. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others. And let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you.
No matter what they try to make us to be, we know we are citizens and we continue to demand for our rights as citizens. I'm standing before you today as a Nigerian, as an active Nigerian. A Nigerian who believes that we need a nation where the child of nobody can become somebody without knowing anybody. A Nigeria where no Nigerian is more Nigerian than any Nigerian. Over the years, we've kept quiet, we've moved on, we've never participated. And some few people have taken it upon themselves and they think they have the power. They do not have the power. Because like indeed you said, the power belongs to the people. We are citizens. The office of the citizen is the highest office in the land. The office of the president is the highest political office in the land. So therefore, the office of the citizen is the #1 office. And we as citizens of our country, we came out, we voted. We did all that was supposed to be done. Nigerian citizens did the needful. But guess what happened? There were some people who think that Nigeria belongs to them, and they try to steal the mandate of the people. We must not allow those who do not have any respect for our nation continue to steal from us again and again and again. They have given themselves the illusion of power. But today we have seen that indeed they have nothing other than thuggery, other than violence, other than bloodshedding. There is nothing that they have. The Nigerian people proved that. They say to us that our votes do not count. And the citizens, on the 2023 election, they decided to come together and participate in the process. And did you see what their participation did? It changed its trajectory, and it has done that forever. Yes. The illusion of power that they have given to themselves, that they have made themselves to believe that they own Nigeria. For over 6 decades, we have sat down doing nothing. Our parents allowed themselves to be enslaved. We have allowed ourselves to be enslaved. Our children will not be enslaved. Amen. Our children will not be enslaved. That we have a nation that they all can be proud of. That they can walk anywhere in the world and go along with their green passport or whatever passport they decide to add to it and be proud that they are Nigerians. Our children are all over the country. We have rendered our own children stateless by our own action, by our own silence. They are wandering all over the world. They are looking for countries that they can call their own. When we have an amazing country that God has given us and we should help to grow. Enough of the individual achievements. Enough of the individual goals that we are reaching, the heights we are reaching. It is time for our collective achievement. As individuals, we know Nigerians, we are great people, amazing people, creative people, intelligent people.
Yes, indeed.
But as a nation, we're still down. So we must take ourselves up. And this is a call to the International Committee and the Committee of Nations. That the things they do not accept in their countries, they must never accept it in our own country. Never. We have seen some countries who have come out to congratulate someone who got the INEC's mandate. By the way, the people's mandate must be given to the person the people chose. Yes. What someone has right now is the INEC's mandate. Yes. And there were some countries that were willing to come out and congratulate such a flawed process. We do not care who it is that is voted for, as long as it is the choice of the people and it is done under free, fair, credible election. Then whatever choices that people make, we will accept those choices because they have a right to choose whoever they want to choose. But in a situation where the election is not credible, where it's flawed, where people are killed, a lady went to vote and she was attacked. And she went to the hospital. She patched herself up, and she came back, and she voted. That is the Nigerian spirit. Her blood was dripping on her ballot paper, and that's the election. The representative of a certain country say that we should accept that it's fascinating. No, it's not. We're being killed because we just come out to just do what we need to do, our civic duty. That must not be the Nigerian story. We have a nation that we all can build. A nation, like I said earlier, where the child of nobody can become somebody without knowing anybody. And let's not look at people who have gone through the ranks, who have gotten into position, have taken it upon themselves, and are now holding Nigerian ransom as they are the representative of children of nobody. No, they are not. They are now the somebodies who are denying the nobodies the opportunity to grow. We have a nation, an amazing nation, and we all must stand and fight for it. Giving up is not an option. Giving up is not an option.
No way.
The good must be more tenacious than the evil. We have given up again and again and again, and we have moved on. And that's the reason why they continue to do what they do. At this moment, no retreat.
No surrender.
We are fighting for our nation. The 2023 election was election for survival. And Nigerians came out and they put in their all. And I'll round up by saying to Nigerians in diaspora, you contribute so much to the economy of Nigeria. You have over 4% of the GDP you contribute to the nation. But you have zero political power. And that must change. If your money is good enough for Nigeria, your political power should also be good enough for Nigeria. We will not see that. I'm a Nigerian living in Nigeria. And we see that back home. We call you and tell you to send money to us. Then you must have that political power also. And everything that must be done to ensure that no Nigeria anywhere, any place in the world is disenfranchised. We must do that. And by the way, the judiciary that some people think they own, we must let them know that we as the people of Nigeria, indeed, we own everything. And that judiciary, we are going to put the spotlight on all of them. Every judge. We will put the spotlight on you. Nigerians have never taken their activism to the judiciary. We face the executive, we face the legislative arm. This is the time for us to face the judiciary. And they must do the needful. They must ensure that the judiciary becomes the last resort of the common man, and not that of corrupt politicians. Thank you.
Justice delayed. Justice denied.
Can you continue to clap for
71. Aisha.
Thank you.
Oh my God, now I know why our principal, Peter Obi, took up as and went through all the stations like a radio. Oh my goodness. Aisha, Auntie Aisha, you forgot to dance for us the way you did it.
No worry, we will dance now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I have to say this, you are a big inspiration to many young people. I know a lot of people think you are for the women. No, we own you. The young people own you.
Thank you.
Inspiration, you were fearless. I remember your picture that you did like the viral one. That's the energy. I want to thank you. I want to encourage you to continue.
Thank you.
We are with you. We live with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So much. Dance together again for Aisha. I'd like to welcome our brother that flew all the way from Arizona, Phoenix. You know, a lot of people were invited. They say, oh, well, I'm in New York, it's far. Let me see people do it. I'm in Atlanta, let them do it over there. But our pastor is here for the second time from Phoenix, Arizona. Let's put our hands together for Pastor Emmanuel Uba.
Picking me to speak after Aisha. How am I supposed to be that? But the good thing here is that we are here for the common good of Nigeria.
Yes, sir.
And that our voice must count. Please bear in mind that what we are doing here is not just for this place. This petition has been put together in, I think, 10 pages. We printed about 20 of it this morning. It is going to different places in the world and in the United States, the State House, the Congress, the International Community of Criminal Court, United Nations, all of them will hear our voice. And we will stand firm until they agree and say that our mandate shall stand. So we are not backing up, we are not giving an inch. I'm going to read my own speech because if I start speaking, I have such passion about this issue that I may exceed the time and they will have to put me out. So now we are here as peace-loving citizens of the United States of America with dual citizenship of Nigeria, our land of nativity. We are here for a peaceful protest because democracy, which is the foundation of peaceful coexistence in any country, especially in Nigeria, a nation with 200 million people, over 300 nuclear diverse groups, scores of different languages, religions, and belief systems. We fear that if her democracy is destroyed, Nigeria will burn. And we don't want Nigeria to burn. Hence, the need to preserve Nigeria democracy by any means necessary. On February 25, 2023, the people of Nigeria from the north, from the south, from the east and west, notwithstanding that the voter repression was going on, assassination and intimidations from APC, the ruling party, stood in line in the rain for 10, 12 hours to do their civic duty and vote. I marveled when I saw a mother who was beaten by thugs, drenched in blood and shivering, return to cast her vote. They endured this hardship because they understood that madness is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. They stood to vote because decades of hopelessness will give way to a new Nigeria. Insecurity to security. Decision to prosperity, and perpetual gloom and darkness to light. They trusted President Buhari and INEC chairman Mahamud Yukabu, or whatever is his name, I don't even care, who promised that this time the people mandate shall stand, because Beaver's machine will ensure accurate counts, and the tally will be transmitted to the collection centers without human interference. And we all can view this life as promised. It was a false promise, unrealized. It's
almost gone.
After my people have voted, the senatorial and the House of Assembly votes were uploaded and transmitted. When the powers that be saw that the people had chosen a credible man, proven and trustworthy as their president, they pulled the plug, rigged and manipulated in a daylight robbery fashion to disenfranchise Nigerians yet again. At 4 a.m. when weary Nigerians we are asleep, imposed their choosing president, choosing man as president. The choosing man, Master Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whose last bucket list is to be president of Nigeria at any cost. Because it is my turn, he stated. He is an unrepentant drug baron who acts with impunity. He esteems fear and intimidation as a necessary tool for corruption and a medium to achieve power. He stated that power is served a la carte, but at all costs you must fight for it, snatch it, and run with it, which was exactly what he did with the help of INEC President Mahmoud Yakubu and Tinubu's goons, who terrorized, maimed, tortured, and manipulated the results to declare him falsely their president. Tinubu must not be sworn in on May 29, 2023. God forbid.
Yes.
He is a fraud, a product of illegality and disenfranchisement. Imposing him on us means the end of democracy in Nigeria. Period. The end of democracy in Nigeria is what will happen if you impose a man that the people has not voted for. He is not the mandate of the people. We appeal to America, United States Congress, and President Joe Biden, We want to say thank you to the time-honored Biden for not sending a congratulatory message to this forcibly imposed president. But it is not enough. Evil prosper because good people choose to keep silent and look the other way.
Yes.
America, in your entire history as champion of democracy, you stood in the gap many times between the oppressors and the oppressed. You did it for South Africa, you did it in Kuwait, you did it in Iraq, for Great Britain when Hitler came upon them, among many others, and even now for Ukraine against Russia, who thought to swallow that smaller nation, but you said not on my watch. Your predecessor, President Clinton's apology to the Rwandans was for acting late. Let history not judge you, Biden, as one who failed to act early for Nigeria and Nigerian youths. Speak out against this atrocity before it is too late. Ask your State Department for their own information. Ask different people who have participated to see what is actually the truth. For the youth of Nigeria shall no longer allow the heels of the oppressors upon their neck. If all hope was lost, I fear they will revolt, and their enemy had guns and might on their side, but the oppressed of my people has no power of their own against this great evil. Call your embassy in Nigeria, call international electoral observers, hear the truth and what transpired from them, and rise to defend our fragile democracy. For we will not let our labors be in vain. We will not. Nigeria will birth a new nation where freedom reigns, whose government shall be of the people, by the people, and for the people. Lastly, let me state here, you evil politicians, corrupt judges, police and army, and goons who have weaponized poverty and made intimidation your core instrument, I counsel you to renounce your evil ways by doing justice. If not, know that we Nigerian diasporans have joined the fight. We will not relent, we will not break rank, we will not yield or surrender. We will engage you by every lawful means. We will take our protests, petitions, and appeals to the House of Congress, to the presidency, to the United Nations, to international criminal courts, to the nations of the Western world, and to God Almighty, who has no respect of person, whose dominion is eternal, and none can stay his judgment. Know this day, you and yours will no longer enjoy your ill-gotten wealth in peace, while our poor masses are miserable, and our beloved nation is ravaged by you. Your hour of reckoning is come. This evil shall not endure. A new Nigeria is coming, for the days of our captivity is over, and we shall birth a new nation where freedom, justice, and equity shall reign. God bless Nigeria. God bless Nigeria.
Beautiful, my brother. Beautiful.
Thank you very much. Put your hands together for Pastor Emmanuel, all the way from Phoenix, Arizona. I know it's very hot in Arizona. I can see where the fire is coming from. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Very delighted to hear people bring out the words out there. It's ironic that some people who say a certain tribe should not come out on election day, has a house in Texas, flies to the United States, wants to be in peace, while he chases people with machete in Lagos. I think it's time for us to use every legal means to make sure they are not comfortable in ruining our country and running abroad. The curious question we should also ask is, why is the Western world the hospital for our political class? How come the CGA suddenly wanted to check his BP? It was goes to the UK. They use the NHS. Is it a crime for Nigeria to have an NHS? Please, let me welcome again. I want to bring the lady up. I would like to bring Miss Irene up. Miss Irene, Job, are you ready? Okay, I know it was kind of impromptu. I'm trying to mix it up so that we can have a gender balance, because in the new Nigeria, gender balance is key. Put your hands together for a very
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Perhaps I should take off my glasses.
Yeah, that's what
I tried to
It's afternoon.
try to protect my eyes. I did have a surgery. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak. I spoke earlier at the front of the White House. I just arrived from Nigeria this morning, so I do not take this for granted. And by the way, I came on my own budget, not sponsored by any political party.
Thank you.
I am a law-abiding citizen of Nigeria, a lover of democracy. I am here for what this says. This is about our democracy, because I like to believe that sometimes we might think that we're advocating for maybe a particular party or a particular individual, but sometimes we need to look at the bigger picture. For me, I like to tell people that my loyalty is first to Nigeria. The people who do not have the privilege that I have had, the people who do not even know that they even have a right. Me being here is not exact. I don't want to say a risk, but right now there's so much intimidation going on in Nigeria, where in some parts of Nigeria you can't even make certain comments just by virtue of where you're from. That should not be happening in 2023. It should not be happening in a country that is a democratic system. What happened in February 25th is a shame to not just Nigeria, but the continent of Africa. We are supposed to be the giant of Africa. Africa looks up to us. We see Nigerians succeeding around the world. And I just ask myself, we're so resourceful, we're so intelligent, we have everything going for us. Why are we not getting it right? It honestly breaks my heart. I can't begin to tell you how much money I spent to make sure that I had my PVC. I was intentional about it. This was my first time voting in Nigeria. And what happened? I don't know how many, and this is not just me, a lot of Nigerians in diaspora went back home.
Yeah.
A lot of people, it was a big sacrifice. A sacrifice that we were actually looking for result. We were looking forward to a new Nigeria. We all know what is possible, but a group of people just sat back and decided to hijack our democracy. Our democracy is under attack. We might not see it, but it's worse than we know. And the hope right now is in people like you and I, who thankfully have an alternative. It took me a long time to actually accept the Canadian citizenship because I love my country so much, Nigeria. I didn't think that I needed it. I'm like, oh, I'm good as a permanent resident. But after the 2019 election, I had reasons to reevaluate my decision, which led me to then put in my application to get a Canadian citizenship. And thankfully, that's part of the reasons I can go back home, back and forth, without being intimidated. It doesn't have to be like that. We don't have to live in fear. We don't have to run away from Nigeria. Nigeria is a beautiful place. I'm happy to be back there. I love it there. But with things like this happening, where people would travel across the world to cast their vote and just a group of people decide, no, you don't matter. So today I'm here to speak against injustice. I'm here to speak against the impunity and the oppression that Nigerians are suffering. The death, you don't have to die just because you want to do right. You want to vote. You don't have to go out of your house to vote and then you don't make it back home. So again, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak. And we're not giving up. At least I'm not giving up.
Yeah.
Put your hands together again for our sister, Miss Irene Chinegundu Joe. Thank you so much. Making the trip back home was was a big statement, a big show of patriotism. We saw videos trending a few days to the election. People were taking pictures from different airports. I'm going home to vote. It was a trending online. I'm very big on social media, so I could see the trend. I was like, this is real. The new Nigeria is here. And some people want to take that from us. We will not agree. Would you agree?
No.
We will not agree. I believe that the power of the people is always
Greater than the people in power.
We've spoken, let the vote count.
Right.
We've chosen a leader, let the actual leader count. I think our sister mentioned something. They selected their own. We are chosen as the people of Nigeria. Yes. Let our vote count, and we will not accept any alternatives. And very important that the judiciary know that we will not accept Obama magic. Yes. We will not accept Operation Wire. Yes. This is not Imo State. This is the biggest black country in Africa, and the most populous democracy in Africa. We will not accept. Yes. So why they sneak into London, Dubai, and everywhere else, let them know that justice must be served. And it must be seen to serve. Yes. Thank you very much. I'd like to go to Mr. Chima Okeke to come and share. We'll be reducing it to 3 to 5 as much as possible. But put your hands together for our brother.
Thank you so much. I have a few questions for us. We went for an election. Somebody was not qualified to contest in the first place, though we allowed him to contest because we felt the people should decide who will rule them. Now the people decided that he was not fit to rule. He threw their decision aside. Now, what do Nigerians want to do about that? I want to let you guys know there are consequences for every action. Make no mistake about it. In 1964, what is transpiring now is what happened in 1964. But it looked like a joke until it snowballed into something serious. You see, I look at your faces here, God forbid, but it could be predictable that some of us will not be alive to see 2027. God forbid. You might think it's a joke. When things like this begin to happen, nobody knows who will be the loser or who will be the eventual beneficiary. When Abiola's case started, Abacha did not know eventually he would die. Abiola himself did not know eventually he would die. Then when things happen, you might be sitting pretty and think, oh, Tinubu is my man. You might be the loser. When they were going for 2007 election, Obasanjo said it was going to be a do or die affair. And Wole Soyinka said, look, be careful. Because in things like this, you don't know who will do and you don't know who will die. At the end of it, he did, but Yaradua died. So we have to be careful. The point is, what are the consequences? What does the future hold for us? In 1979, FEDECO conducted election. People voted, but they disrupted the wishes of the people by stuffing the ballot boxes. In 2003, NEC conducted election. People voted. They disrupted the wishes of the people by adding figures. So we had places where there were 1 million registered people and somebody had 999,000 votes. They added figure. But in this election, we are now getting stories like, if you know you're not going to vote APC, don't come here. This is a new introduction into Nigerian electoral process. If it is like this today, what is it going to be in 2027? Have you ever thought about it? The future is bleak for us. If you want to sit pretty in your office, you are comfortably in America, it will get to you. You will go home someday. Now, if we allow May 29 to happen, do you know what will happen? The separatist group will intensify their struggle. There's going to be fierce struggle. The Fulani herdsmen will run large. Boko Haram will seize states. Things are going to go wrong. If you don't stop it now, when will you stop it? That is a question for all of you. If we don't stop it now, when will we stop it? We need resources. If you can't go, volunteer your money. We need your time. We need your money. We need your connections. Thank you so much.
Tell it as it is. Tell it as it is. You know, when doctors approach you and say, you have a minute, I want to see you. Tell you what it is. Some doctors would.
Yes, it has.
He just gave us that kind of conversation. It's kind of hard to hear where we are. I had a lady on my space. I host Twitter space, Peter Obi USA on Twitter. I invite you to join us. We were on for 5 weeks non-stop, broke all records. And in that time, I met several Nigerians. One of the lady, Mrs. Bolale is her name. She tells a story of witnessing a murder on election day, particularly on the March 18th. But thankfully, she prevented it. What was the problem? A man was being beaten on the head by the sticks while people were chanting, "Kill him!" And she said, "What did he do?" He said, "He voted LP." She said, "Why?" And she's Yoruba, so she started speaking Yoruba to the people were assaulting the lady, and they said, "You should get out of here." That was all they wanted from her. And she insisted. They said, "No, she must be Moibo as well." For speaking for the person they are trying to beat. And she said, "No, I'm from Lagos. My parents took me away from the north because of this problem. I will not witness it. You better kill me first." And she put herself on the line. And they started beating her as well. Until one elderly man said, "She's a useless woman, let him go." So she saved the man's life. That tells you where Nigeria is. This is 2023, folks. This is 2023. And some people are dancing buga on the blood of people, claiming they got a certificate of return without return. They've gone into the journey of no return, because those blood will cry out. We that are alive will not accept what has happened. I'm not one to shy away. In Lagos, what we witnessed was not an election, it was a massacre. GRV won that election, and they believe that they can get away with whatever because they are in power. But the power of the people is greater than the people in power. Yes. Thank you very much for your attention. I'd like to bring up Dr. Tonya. Tonya, please, you want to reduce it to 2 to 3 minutes, just very quickly. Put your hands together for Dr. Tonya. I'm fine. I'm not Dr. anything, please. Dr. something.
Oh, okay.
Who is Tonya? Okay.
He's coming.
I'm coming.
All right. Let me bring Thelma up.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Why are you hiding now? Come on. I just get up for her. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
My name is Antonia Okoro. I live in Lagos. Actually, I'm a medical doctor. I'm a husband working ExxonMobil. To be precise, because the injustice that is happening in Nigeria is too much. Professionals are running away. In fact, since I came here, my classmates all are calling me, begging to tell them how I got here. The situation is bad. I worked in the primary health care center. I was very close to the people, very, very close to the Nigerian people. And this is Lagos. So you can imagine what is happening in the villages, Ogun states, the northern part of the country, the eastern part of the country. Meanwhile, Lagos is the biggest. Oh my goodness. They say it is the heart of Nigeria.
Mega city.
Mega city. Can you imagine being a doctor and you're in the consulting room and they call you for an emergency? Emergency that will take only 500 naira to save a life of a child that is vomiting and stooling. And you get there, there are no gloves, there are no cotton wool, there is no IV fluid, nothing. There's nothing to do ordinary, simple CBC. Most times I dip my hand into my pocket and guess what? They call me the stupid doctor. No, I am not. Because I know what to do, but there's nothing on ground for me to do it. That is the same for the teachers. That is the same for the lawyers. That is the same for people working in oil and gas. Listen, I had it all in Nigeria. When I say I had it all, I had it all. But the center cannot hold. I couldn't continue. Watch my fellow Nigerians die because of incompetent government. The president of Nigeria, the number one president of Nigeria, had otitis media. When I say otitis media, everybody is thinking it's a very big thing. Infection of the ear that a nurse can kill. He went abroad.
Wasting the resources.
Wasting the resources. Get our fleet of presidential flights, jet and everything, and we are paying demurrage. And now they are bringing in another cargo. Currently, he is nowhere to be found. Why is he?
Nowhere.
Where is this man that stole our mandate? Where is he? We are going to be faced with another 8 years of back and forth, going from England to Nigeria every day, and the cabals will take over Nigerian system. Is that what we are supposed to be? My husband used to tell me that the oil and gas, if Nigerians know how much money that is being made, and our Nigerian leaders would stay there, take our raw material out, another country refines, and they bring it back and we buy it in a very exorbitant price. I mean, this is too much. This is crazy. I am not having it bed of roses in America, but I mean, I am here for my children. If I continue in that country, what happened to my children? What happened to my people? But guess what? We all here have 1 or 2 or 3 relatives back home. So we need to fight this fight because, I mean, we can't continue this way. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My 2 minutes.
Thank you. Well done.
For your children going back.
For our next speakers, we want to refocus back on the topic. Nigerian democracy under siege. Find a way to narrow your conversation within 2 minutes on the topic of the Nigerian 2023 elections. Try to speak about the elections. When someone asks, why are we campaigning for a simple request, restore our mandate, which is the hashtag you see there. I said, when our mandate is restored, every other thing will fall into place. So let's kind of stay within the elections and also realize it's a non-partisan space. Of course, I'm obedient. I can't help myself. And I know some of you are as well. So I'd like to bring up one of our pastors here. Very firebrand, all the way from Texas. Pastor Iman, you know, Pastor Iman had spoken earlier. This is another pastor that is another firebrand. I call him my daddy. Please, sir, we are delighted to welcome Pastor Iman Edi. Put your hands together, all the way from Texas, all the Texas people. Let's welcome our daddy.
standing on the existing protocol, with the exception that having seen Aisha today has just made my day. And thanking everyone that made our time, especially coming from Nigeria, for this event. It is very, very gladdening to see how passionate, how committed, and that some few people, have been as seriously working to help us, regain the stolen mandate. I think Aisha represents that is an example, and she's a model for that. I thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you, sir.
You are a great inspiration.
Thank you, sir.
This election, I described it as I'm playing, we are in a football game, Emmanuel and Prof. We are playing a football game. And the Prof gave me 3 goals, and the umpire credited Emmanuel those 3 goals. And when Prof started querying the umpire, why are you crediting me the 3 goals? The umpire said, "We'll just wait, let the game finish. Let's finish, we'll resolve it." And then he gave me 5, and I was managed to give 1, and he complained again. The umpire said, wait, well, before the game finishes, that you will see what I'm going to do. And at the end of the game, the umpire just turned away and said, "You can go to court." That is very shocking. It has never happened ever in the history of democracy. You see, the revolution that came was unexpected by the political class. It was unexpected. So there is no way they could have responded to it than a daylight robbery. It's stunning, it is shocking. It is disheartening that such a thing can happen in a nation that claims to run a democracy. Be it as it may, they do things with impunity, and they ask you to go to court, knowing that they also own the court. But do you know one thing? The power of the people is greater than the caliphate's power, that the authority of that nation, and is greater than all the power of the judiciary. Do you know another thing? The Constitution Constitution requires an accountability from the leaders, and that Constitution is to protect the people. That any Constitution that cannot protect the people, that Constitution stands null and void. And our brother wrote a book, and his name is Prof. that the man died who kept silence in the face of tyranny. This is an election has happened that inspired a generation of youths and giving them hope for a new Nigeria. And they want to abort that hope just on a twinkling of an eye. It will not happen. It will not happen. And our shock is that the international community are standing quiet. Not their needs. And the issue that we not need to ask is this: what is American foreign policy in Nigeria? Does that foreign policy, is it meant to embolden the impunity of Nigerian political class, or is it for the interest of common Nigerians to choose a leader of their choice? What is that foreign policy? Is that foreign policy emboldening the leader, a caliphate government in whose tenure more than 500,000 people has been slaughtered, and emboldening and accelerating insecurity that people cannot sleep in their houses, they cannot travel by road, they cannot go to their farms, they are enveloped by every manner of insecurity? Is that what that policy stands for? Or is that policy to enforce all the international treaties on which Nigeria have committed themselves to? And it is time to hold Nigerian government accountable. It is time for the US government to hold Nigerian government accountable. It is time to require over $2 billion sent to Nigeria as aid, and including to strengthen democracy. What have they done with change? It is time to require that. It is time to demand accountability. It is time to require that election be reviewed. It is time to demand from the Nigerian judicial system for once justice. Yes. Let them give us justice, and be it as it may, it is better they do. But do you know one thing? The battle has begun. stop. This agitation is not going to stop until we regain our full mandate. And so shall it be. In Jesus' name. I also use this opportunity on the 26th of this month here at National Press Club. We'll have a meeting. This is the beginning of greater meetings.
Yes.
We are all, each of them are complementing the other. We are going to meet with the Congress. We are going to wade into this matter. And we are going to meet with U.S. experts. Please bring as much people as you can, so that our voices can go out. And the American media can help us to urge the President of the United States of America and his Secretary of State to take responsibility to stop the impunity in Nigeria. Thank you so much.
26th of this month. Thank you very much. I told you it was firebrand. I think all the reverends that are Emmanuel, and they have fire in them. Put your hands together for our reverends. For those that don't know, our reverend that just spoke has done a lot of work.
It's like he's watching your live stream.
He's always
Let me
traveling
take a
from
picture
Texas
of
all
it
the
to
way
show her.
to DC, and he's been speaking to the U.S. government and Congress. So I want to thank Pastor Reverend Imaye for all his advocacy. So on the 29th of this month, for those that are local, 26 I should say, please try and be around as well. It's the same project, restore our mandate, INEC. I think that's the umbrella request. We want our votes to count. Let our votes count. Every other thing will fall in.
What time, sir?
If you give us more information.
Just reserve that date for yourself. We have contacted the press club to secure that hall.
And this will continue, and our folks in the UK are going to have a protest at 10 Downing Street on the 8th of February. I have that information. So if you are 8th of this month, 8th of April, don't mind me. February was election.
It's the election, you're still... Yes, we are still...
Okay. In UK, Rishi Sunak was one of those who quickly endorsed this, what I call sham.
Yeah.
So they are going to pay him a visit in his office on the 8th of this month, April. So we're going to keep moving because of time. We have asked that try to make your contributions within 2 minutes. Madam, I'd like to bring you up, Madam Tama Onyema. You'll be speaking. Put your hands together for our sister. Thank you very much.
She sent me your live stream link. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm live. Okay, I'm coming, let me mute.
Because each time I said I want to come home, my family will say don't come because they're going to kidnap you. And you know, that's painful. And we all, that's really why I'm here, that we all need to make our hearts, you know, come together. That we have a problem and we want the government, we want the UN, we want the American government to know that this is no longer a joke. we have to just do something. And thank you all, everybody. I'm not gonna keep. Thank you.
So as we begin to wind down towards the end of our session today, please continue the advocacy. Let our words, our voices not be silent. There are people coming out in Nigeria. Let's support them any way you can, as long as they keep it peaceful and continue to comport themselves. I want you to encourage your folks to express themselves. I believe that in our oppressive society, silence is violence. And anyone that watches others going through what is going on in Nigeria is not being fair to the people. I would like to, well, before our chairman comes up, let me bring Mr. Chuma Okeke. I don't know if I've called that before. I've done that. Done that before? Okay. All right, Dr. Sylvester Okere will be next. Dr. Sylvester Okere, let's put our hands together for Dr. Sylvester Okere. Yes, it's coming. Put your hands together for Dr. Sylvester Okere.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. One Nigeria.
One Nigeria.
Thank you, everyone.
Great Nigeria.
Someone said that silence in the face of injustice is complicity to the oppressor. And Nelson Mandela talked about remembering our friends who are quiet when we are going through struggles. Therefore, as someone who have really worked to mobilize Nigerians Africans in the diaspora to support democracy and participate in democracy in this country, used to be the African diaspora to the National Democratic Party, worked on 2 presidential elections. It's not just to talk about myself, but to talk to our president, our current president, Joe Biden, and the U.S. Senate, the U.S. Congress, and a good friend of Nigeria, Ambassador Linda Thomas Greenfield, who is now the U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations. We are calling on these names to react. We will remember your silence. We will remember how you intervened for Nigeria. You know, I'm 58 years old. This is my first time to see the kind of protest that women unashamedly come out to protest, to show concern. I'm also talking to Africans, Nigerians who are here in diaspora. We cannot sit in a country where we enjoy democracy, enjoy the opportunities in equity and good governance, and then we are promoting this kind of criminality in Nigeria. Enough is enough. The Bible says in John chapter 3 verse 19 that light has appeared to the world, but evildoers hate light but prefer darkness. Because of what? Their deeds are evil. And we are praying and asking everyone that is listening to us or hearing this press conference to please know that Nigeria means a lot. If Nigeria rise, Africa will rise. If it's good to Nigeria, it will be good to the world. So nothing hurts me, nothing embarrasses me than when I turn the television on and I see people like Dr. Phil talking about Nigerian fraud, talking about Nigerian criminality, Nigerian corruption. Now my question is, how on earth will someone support a baron? Because the leadership of fraud will definitely multiply fraudsters home and abroad. Home and abroad. So why would they keep quiet? We are not doing this for ourselves. I'm not an obedient movement. I'm not APC. I'm not anyone. As a matter of fact, I mobilized the Nigerians for Buhari 2015 and the last election. And what we are saying here, because we want a good Nigeria that works for everyone. Yes. All the 4 corners of Nigeria, east, west, north, south, no religion. Nigeria that works for everybody. Yes. Enough of this cabal, enough of the status quo. Enough of people, some of us cannot travel home. I have seen Nigerians who went on to run for election, but they never come back alive. Enough is that. The U.S. Census in itself said Nigerians are the most educated community in the United States. What is wrong with us? Nigeria is likely like a father who struggled hard to raise his son or daughter into medical school and finally build a clinic. But when he is sick, he runs overseas. What a shame. Your daughter is a medical doctor. As a matter of fact, a Nigerian is a medical doctor to Hillary Clinton. Yes. Why do our leaders go to Europe? What is wrong with them? When have you seen American elect, British elect, before sworn in, they run to Africa or any part of the world? When? Are we not ashamed? Are we not ashamed? Educated people, and you freely come to America, you have handshakes, and you go over there and you do nothing. Kids are suffering. No good school, no good road, no good hospital, nothing works in Nigeria. Insecurity that we voted Buhari in a position, where is it? I helped to facilitate Aisha Buhari's voice at George Mason University because we love Nigeria. We want Nigeria that work for anybody, not for Igbo, not for Hausa, not for Yoruba. How about the other part of Nigeria that are not Igbos and Hausa?
That's right.
Are they not Nigerians?
That's right.
Shame on us.
That's right.
And we call ourselves giant of Africa. Look at Ghana. Ghana is doing better than Nigeria. Niger will even be doing better than Nigeria. Are we not ashamed?
Should be ashamed.
Are we not ashamed?
Should be ashamed.
We have all our skyscrapers in America, in Switzerland, and so on. Yet there is no working school, no primary school that is working. A woman in labor cannot deliver in a good hospital. No good road. Because your wife go overseas, your wife can overnight on a weekend go to London and shop. Your mothers are all over there, but you allow people to suffer. God will never let you go free. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Because of the challenges about their country, we can see the energy and raw emotions from our speakers. The next room has a different event and they'll be struggling because they can hear us. And I think our problem is bigger than their own. So
they allow Nigerians and not apologetic.
Yes. I'm aware that there are unscrupulous noise makers with banners of the APC downstairs. But I think they went to the White House probably because he was there. So just ignore them when you are leaving the event. Just ignore them completely. At this point, it's important that, I know personally I have issues with people that stay in the country that works and advocate for what is going on. It's diabolical. I think it's witchcraft.
Yes.
Personally. Just ignore them as much as you can. Just ignore them. That's the best way. On Twitter, we just run.
Thank you.
So because of time, I have to run. I'll be bringing up my chairman next.
That's provocation.
Let's welcome Mr. Chijike. I call him our nephew, CDM controller general. Put your hands together for from New Jersey.
Thank you. Let me thank everyone for the opportunity to join in the struggle for a better Nigeria. What I want to do is to give an idea of summarize, like, if you do communicate what we have done today, and address what our demands, what we are going to work on going from today. Like we know, we started from the Lafayette near the opposite the White House to the Capitol. And we had a delegation go deliver our documents to the State Department. Now, what I want to briefly read out is our demand. This is the document that we delivered to the State. Continuously bombard the United States government to block them and their family, their wives. 102. I am not going to read all them out, but we are also going to make them available to the press, nationally and internationally. But I want to touch on our demand, which says Nigerian democracy under siege, our demand. The first one is let the people's vote count. INEC must revert to counting all votes cast, tabulated, and announced at the polling booths on February 25th, 2023 presidential election, and strictly follow the guidelines and the 2022 electoral law as amended. 2, the INEC chairman must step aside.
Right.
That's our demand. 3, return the people's mandate. It is obvious that the INEC declared winner of the 2023 presidential election, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, did not win the election. Mr. Tinubu did not meet not even the 25% of votes cast in Abuja, and therefore should not have been declared winner in the first place. 4, no presidential inauguration. We are demanding that there should be no presidential inauguration on the 29th of May 2023. Mr. Tinubu has an outrageous political baggage, and his inauguration, while these issues persist in court and around the world, will be a major affront to Nigeria and to the Nigerian constitution. Visa ban. All Nigerian individuals and their immediate family who participated in the right of democracy during these elections must be placed on an indefinite U.S. ban. The list of these individuals are attached here. The Joint National Democratic Institute, International Republican Institute, International Observer Mission to Nigerian presidential and legislative elections recommendation must be accepted by INEC and implemented in full. The Global Magnitsky Act and the Foreign Narcotics Kingpin Designation Act. These two United States acts must be preferred on Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The leadership of All Progressive Congress, APC, the presidency, governors, and other Nigerians and INEC officials who participated in the sham with attendant human rights violations, killings, violence, and ethnic profiling. The Nigerian judiciary, judges who participate in any way, who are going to participate in the various election tribunals, and who corruptly issue any questionable judgment must be so treated like corrupt politicians. That's our demand. We also demand that the United States government must withhold any form of official recognition to Bola Ahmed Tinubu because he did not win the elections. We also demanded that the United States of America should stand with the people of Nigeria and the millions of Nigerian Americans in the quest for a democracy and the rule of law. And finally, we ask that the international community not to watch. We ask the international community not to watch Nigeria become a failed state or a criminal state because the world will feel it. So thank you so much for participating. This is our demand. I will continue to press as hard as possible. Thank you so much.
Can we get a copy of that?
How can we get a copy?
How can we get?
Yes.
Okay, so we can do a review, not for everybody, but a few copies. And it will make public to the press as well.
Yes.
So you may be seeing it on the daily. Thank you very much. Worship.
Just a minute, please. I just want to say one thing, please. We should all bear in mind that the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. So, with that in mind, let us start working towards what the China have in place. And that is why they have been able to move the vast majority of their people for poverty, capital punishment, debt for corruption and embezzlement, or those craving looters of our country, those responsible for all the backwardness of Nigeria. Yes. Please, let us start working on that. Very serious.
Yes. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much. Because of time, we won't be able to take more speakers. Let's bring up our Nigerian Labour Party USA chapter committee chairman to address us. Professor Edjo Baroji is a father to me and many of us. A man with so much resume that it will take a while to read it all. So allow me to introduce my daddy, my mentor, and a voice for the people of Nigeria, both here and back home in Nigeria. So join me to welcome, I call him my father. Welcome.
Again, once more, thank you very much, Stephen and Thank you to everybody. I don't have a whole lot to add to the very powerful speeches rendered here today. And of course, all that dovetails into the demands that we have articulated and presented to the US Congress, to the White House, and also the State Department. And we are going to be pursuing all this, and we are also hoping that every one of you in your respective times continue to reach out to your lawmakers. We are going to keep making sure that we are in their ears every moment until we let those people in Nigeria who want to steal our mandate know that this must not stand. And of course, it's a big surprise for us to have our sister Aisha to be here today, and always doing a very fiery speech. The fact that she spent so much time with us here today, I know how many times I've tried to call her from Nigeria, it's difficult to get her. But here we are today, being graced by her presence. Like we mentioned, we have started a list of the 102 people that we submitted to all these various places that we mentioned that must be considered for sanctions and their families. And the two acts that we have requested the government to act through, the Magnitsky Act and the Foreign Narcotics Kingpin Act. The Foreign Narcotics Kingpin Act is specifically targeted towards Bola Tinubu for his obvious drug-related crimes here in the United States. And that is a new dimension that we intend to escalate. And I will also want every one of us to review that act. It's not a very complicated one, so that we will make that case again and again to make sure that he can run with the fake return certificate. I mean, like everything else he had, which is fake. So this is the fake certificate that he just was given. Exactly. In fact, somebody made a video where he was somebody, I think it was Buhari, was handing him that certificate, and they had it fake, written on it. So we may have to escalate that to make that go viral. Because as far as we're concerned, that the certificate, the return certificate that we give to them, it doesn't belong to us. And when the right things are done, the right certificate of return will be given returned to the rightful owner. All that said, I want to again say I don't have much to add. All of you have done people very, very proud. I know Nigerians have been looking forward to this day, and I'm sure they're going to be very happy with the outcome of this particular day. Like Pastor Ihim mentioned, more of this is going to be happening. I happen to be part of the leadership here in the US when we prosecuted the Atiku fight. And some of the things that we're going to be doing is going to be tailored along the same strategies. I want to also say that I am proud because today the visa ban we talked about was part of an initiative that myself, guiding Babatokwe at the time, spearheaded, even though eventually he joined the Abacha regime, as the case may be. But those things we can readily apply today, continue to fight for today. And I'm sure that if you also know, the Supreme Court judges that rendered the weird ruling in Imo State, where the Ford became first, We also did the same thing. We pushed for the Trump administration, eventually that put a visa ban on those Supreme Court judges. So we are going to be making that known to them again, that we are still in the trenches, we are still by the barricades. If you guys misplace or mistake, make an error in delivering the wrong judgment in this particular case, we will be on your case. There's no question about it. So once again, thank you everyone. This is the beginning. Let's all stand tall, stand strong, and let's keep fighting. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, everyone. That's it. We will be closing down.
Chairman, sir, I'd like to ask a very key question. What is the difference between, you're a very distinguished professor here, but when I look at the list of those who are asking for visa ban, there's a lot of professors here. Why are our professors rigging Nigeria elections?
It's copy and paste professors. Copy and paste professors.
No, that was more like a partisan crowd, but it was basically telling INEC to do the right thing. And we were at the Lafayette Square. We had enough fanfare talking about Mahmoud has promised us. We had the promise from Chatham House. We had the many claims. We had the assure you and reassure you and assure you, and all the assurances we had. And we had very high hopes that at least, if for anything, this will be better than all the elections we've had. I am aware, because I am also the convener of Save Nigerian Group USA, with members across the 36 states and the FCT. We campaigned across every village. We did our campaigns to places where people were wondering, who are you guys? Please check the phone.
Please, can you turn off your phones, everybody? Just turn off your phone.
Silence.
Put it on silent.
So the hopes were very high for this election. To cut the long story short, ordinary Nigerians across Nigeria and diaspora became politicians. We started to get into the process. We convinced our brothers and sisters that this election will work, that our votes will count. We took the word of Buhari in the UN National Assembly where he promised that he wanted to leave a legacy of free, fair, and credible election. We believed it. We believed Mahmoud Yakubu, who said the results will be uploaded to the IREV real time and our votes will count. As a matter of fact, he made a video that went viral in October disclaiming the rumor then that they will not upload the presidential result. He assured us and reassured us to assure us again. Until now, we know what that is worth. It was horror on the 25th of February. I was holding a Twitter space. My handle is at Peter Obi USA. And I had 15,000 people in the room for that election. And a lot of people across the diaspora and many media were very hopeful that Nigeria will get it right this time. Alas, Nigeria did not get it right. Our people voted in spite of the violence and voter suppression, but our votes did not count. Collation centers became a horror show. We have videos and documents of governors bullying people, coppers being threatened. So many things have happened, you all know. We won't really litigate it. But we're here to say that we will not be silent. Our voice must be heard. Right now, Nigerians are gradually realizing that their voices are being shot, so they're coming out. In Abuja, they just did 14 days today, coming out protesting. Our mothers in Nasarawa State are so enraged that some of them even have to strip in indignation of what has happened. It is important that we don't keep silent. I will continue to speak against what we've seen, particularly on the 18th of March. 18th of March, what we saw in Lagos, in Imo, in Rivers, was not an election. According to one international observer, he did not witness an election, he witnessed a crime scene. Our country was reduced to horror and terror. People were scampering, believing they can hide from looking like a certain tribe and all that. So we must speak against what has happened. Our principle, my principle, I would say, because there are other parties here, my principle is Peter Obi. He's in court. But we want the judiciary to know that the world is watching, that we know that the integrity of that body is at play. We also know that the CJN was allegedly in London for some very questionable reasons, and he ran back to Abuja. So they must know that we are not going to accept any fraudulent adjudication of this case. We want the vote to count. For me, I'm leading the obedient movement for peaceful protests across Nigeria, asking people to come out peacefully and express their displeasure. Some of our opinion movement disagree, but I believe that it's a constitutional right for people to peacefully protest when they do not agree with the government policy. I don't think anybody, apart from those that it's con, accept what has happened. It's very important that we continue to speak peacefully and also let the judiciary know that we are all watching. Because Nigeria, 260 million people at last count, cannot be allowed to be mortgaged by very few people who think they have power. For the power of the people must be always greater than the people in power. With that, I want to welcome you all and thank you and thank our chairman for being here. I'm very delighted to see my number one, my big sister Aisha Yusufu in our midst. I'd like to thank President Mark flying all the way from Arizona. He's done it now twice. I know the last time we did it was supposed to be the last time, but it's back.
Go to Nigeria and
yes, we were preparing for May 29 because indeed we did campaign and we were sure we would win, and we did win that election. And our principal said at the World Press Conference that we won this election and we'll prove it in court. And for some reason they are no longer waiting for court. They are coming up with propaganda, AI deepfakes. They are stooping lower than you can imagine. They are threatening people of a certain tribe, marking buildings for demolition, burning markets. It's crazy what is going on in Nigeria. And it's incumbent on us to speak. Because guess what? We enjoy democracy here in the United States. They don't. Our people, if they come out, they are afraid to be shot. We will not be afraid to be shot. Although they claimed they were going to chase us out at the White House, I was waiting, but they never appeared. But the truth is that what is going on in Nigeria, everybody should look against what APC is doing. This is not us. We are not what APC is changing also. And it is not a tribal thing. It is not about Yoruba or Igbo or what they are turning it to make. I saw a hashtag trending recently, which I love. Tinubu, leave Yorubas alone. Because even the Afenifere are begging Tinubu, leave us alone. Because it is the APC, not the Yoruba people.
Yeah.
Because it is the same APC that is killing people in Imo State. The same APC doing it in Ebonyi State, in Kaduna. Anywhere APC goes, they go with their poison. And I believe that Nigeria will survive the APC. Because Nigeria was there before the APC. Thank you very much. With that, I'd like to call on speakers. Let's get them first. So I'll call Dr. Ojo to come and address the House. Dr. Ojo, please put your hands together for. Okay, because of time, please keep your conversation to 3-5 minutes. I'll be on the side to let you know. But thank you very much. Put your hands together for Dr.
Thank you very much for the brief talk. Just a minute. Yeah, I want to congratulate every one of you that made it here today, because you are part of history. And history will recognize and remember you for what you did. We all did a good job today for going out to protest, because we can no longer be silent. Silence is no longer acceptable in our land. And when we had a various meeting before we came to this place, that was when we put together this speech and others. Why do we, as a matter of fact, in Nigeria, need this protest? We are tired of looking at our own younger generations dying in the ocean because they are trying to flee Nigeria. We are tired of all the old treasury looters. They don't want to give up power. They keep looting the treasury, and they are responsible for the backwardness of Nigeria even till today. Just like the last speaker said, I'm Dr. Patrick Ojo from Florida. I'm from Edo State, just like the last speaker. We knew why we came, because this is not just about Obi or about Tinubu or about any other person. For the first time in Nigeria, we had a movement that cut across ethnic barrier, cut across religious barrier. So, and the momentum was there until they trampled on the result. Many people kept doubting, they kept saying, oh, this infrastructure is not there. What are you talking about? For Obi to just come out and win like that, no governor, no state representative, no this. What are you talking about? The people, the power belongs to the people, and not to any individual. If they had allowed the protest, the momentum that started on the 23rd to continue, they would have been surprised about the outcome. So I just want to let everyone know that our people are angry, not only at home, but everywhere. We knew that the cream of our society are all over the whole place today. We are the cream of our society, but we are here developing foreign land, and our land is looking for us. That is an outrage. Our people, they look forward to us, they look out to us to come home and help them. Yes. And this is one of the ways by which we can do that. Okay, he said my time is up.
Thank you. Let's come together. Thank you very much. Because of time, we'll try to run so we can get as much as possible. Dr. Ojo, thank you very much for the trip from Florida all the way. Thank you. Put your hands together for our brother. Standing on the same protocol, I'd like to welcome Franklin Ekechukwu. Put your hands together for Franklin.
Thank you very much. He's from Edo State. I don't want him to lose it. Yes, that's why he says to read. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm still standing on the existing protocol. Constitutional democracy. Constitutional democracy, to my understanding, is a process where the voiceless, the poorest of the poor, and the weakest of the weak use the only tool they possess to make their voices heard. It is the only system that allows the downtrodden voice to be heard loudly using the principle of one vote, one man, one vote. To be of equal yoke with the most powerful and the richest in the world, by using a singular vote, they can change the direction of their country from good to bad, or from bad to good, provided it is their choice under the constitution of the land. In Nigeria, the situation where the voiceless and the weakest in society are denied their fundamental right to pick their leader has been the norm. Over and over the years, the people cry out. As the most powerful continue to strangle the system. However, after 2019 election, in which the most powerful, I use the word the most powerful because the most powerful are the ones in government, overwhelmingly subdued the citizens by forcefully denying the people their choice. The masses embark on making sure that the system provides a protection of their rights. This singular action of the masses won the 2022 electoral law, signed into law by this present administration. By this singular act, the hope of the masses was renewed. The umpire institution called Independent National Electoral Commission, that conducts elections, went to work to provide the guidelines according to the provisions of the electoral law within the ambit of the Nigerian Constitution. These guidelines, provided by INEC, were wonderfully written and was widely accepted by the political parties, welcomed by the Nigerian masses, and even got contributed, even got high praises from international communities. International communities went as far as contributing money to making sure the guidelines were followed. For a minute, Nigerian people's faith was restored. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, I am standing before you all with great disappointment in my heart to declare the conduct of February 25th, 2023 presidential election in Nigeria an embarrassment a slap to all Nigerians and lovers of democracy, a sham, a travesty to the system, a rape of democracy, an outright disregard and violation of the law. Independent National Electoral Commission arrogantly, deliberately, intentionally, and brazenly disregard their own electoral guidelines, violate the electoral law of 2022, and totally abandon the Constitution of Nigeria. The supposedly unbiased umpire became very compromised and biased to Nigerian people. They threw caution to the wind, even when asked not to do so. The INEC chairman, in the process of satisfying the most powerful, violated the Constitution by not meeting one of the provisions of the law that requires 25% of the federal capital electorate. When he rushed to announce and declare Bola Ahmed Tinubu as winner at 4 a.m. early morning, when the masses were sleeping, once again, denying the Nigerian people, the poorest of the poor, the weakest of the weak, and the downtrodden, their fundamental right of free and fair election. The Constitution once again prostituted to deny Nigerians their simple human rights. The report from the Nigerian International Community Observers around the world strongly suggests a midnight robbery perpetrated by the same people appointed to defend and protect the masses. By not following the Constitution, the electoral law, and the guidelines, the Electoral Commission violated the law and need to be held accountable. It will be difficult to ask the beneficiaries of the stolen mandate, which is the present government, to hold the Commission responsible. Thus, we call upon the international community to do that. We call upon the United States of America and all defenders of democracy to hold Nigerian umpire, the Electoral Commission, responsible. We ask that the election result be totally rejected and the beneficiaries of the fraud election perpetrated to the people of Nigeria be persecuted by the international community. We call on the United Nations, we call on the United States and United Nations to make these declarations. 1. Support Nigerian people over compromised government structures. 2. Support all actions of free and fair democratic process and the rule of law in Nigeria. 3. Reject all forms of election malpractices and violence in Nigeria. 4. Reject all results, actions, and events emanating from an election marked by malpractice and violence. 5. Impose U.S. visa ban on all those responsible of the February 25th, 2023 presidential election in Nigeria. This declaration is in line with President Biden's promise of multilateralism in U.S. foreign policy. And the United Nations General Assembly's A/RES/73/127 request for necessary measure and arrangement for the United Nations to commemorate and promote multilateralism and diplomacy for peace. A doctrine of what affects one nation affects the other. This doctrine has been effected in Ukraine. We ask that the United States do the same in Nigeria by holding the present government responsible. We unequivocally state that INEC personnel were compromised by the ruling party and present sitting government, that there were evidence of violence. Papers were snatched. People were attacked with machetes, shot at with guns, killed and maimed. Ballot papers that were snatched while security personnel whose main responsibility is to protect and preserve life watches. In some occasions, have the thoughts to accomplish their task. These actions are in violation of the above declaration. In pursuit of justice, we call upon the Nigerian judiciary to simply do the right thing, correct the injustice perpetrated by the Commission, to have in mind that the world is watching and the fate of ordinary man, woman, and youth is now in their own hands. Yes, the fate of Nigeria and Nigerians hangs in the balance with them. justice must be blind. Judiciary must deliver justice by upholding the law, regardless of whose ox is God. The mandate of the people must be judiciously returned to the people, regardless of who the winner is. Order for immediate arrest of all involved in violating, most importantly, the Constitution and the electoral law. And thank you for listening, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. May God bless the United States.
Thank you, Mr. Franklin, for that wonderful. I think the one you mentioned, the visa ban, a lot of people, that drew attention. I hope that that one is very key.
With their families. With their children. Repatriate their children back to Nigeria immediately.
Because those people who say Nigeria will not sleep, they too will not sleep, right? Thank you very much. I'd like to switch it up and bring up my number one fan. After Peter Obi, Aisha Yesufu.
71, Aisha, 72, Aisha,
73, Lucy, 74, 75,
76, Aisha,
77, Aisha, one day.
Thank you. You're welcome. Please, ma, you have 5 minutes.
So what you need to do, you need to be very watchful of the 5 minutes, because as Nana speaks for us, I literally can speak, so just give me the signal. Good afternoon, everyone. We are citizens, we are not slaves. We are citizens, we are not slaves. No matter what they try to make us to be, we know we are citizens, and we continue to demand for our rights as citizens. I'm standing before you today as a Nigerian, as an active Nigerian. A Nigeria who believes that we need a nation where the child of nobody can become somebody without knowing anybody. A Nigeria where no...
So guys, you can see it for yourself that Nigerians across the world are coming out to air their mind. They are airing their views, you know. They are saying that what happened in Nigeria in this 21st century was not supposed to be, you know. It wasn't, as in considering how this election was conducted. Is it all the disruptions that happened? Is it all the INEC staff, you know, that tried to manipulate figures? Is it that the INEC chairman did not allow the results to be uploaded? Oh my God, so many things went wrong during this election. Nigerians across the world are not keeping silent. They are coming out to air their mind, to tell the world that Nigeria didn't have an election. We didn't have an election because what we had was just, you know, a scam. Honestly, it was a scam. You can't tell people come out and register for your PVC. People took the risk and came out. You tell them come and pick up your PVC. People abandon, you know, their daily engagements to stay in queues just for them to pick up their PVC. Then at the end of the day, when votes were counted, you told them that results will be uploaded. People kept waiting to see results on INEC website. No way for the presidential results. INEC came out to tell us that they had some glitches. Oh my God, this is what Nigerians are saying, that this election wasn't an election and they are calling for a fresh election. So guys, this is where we are today. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you.